budget cuts and a strict anti-inflation monetary policy. Again, the answer saving us was serious tax cuts, real deregulation, meaningful budget cuts, and a strict anti-inflationary monetary policy. It will save us again if we are smart enough to use it. There was no talk of bailouts of irresponsible banks, no trillion-dollar stimulus packages to bail out states, cities, and counties with money that did not exist outside a printing press. No asking China to buy our debt. No talk of ending the dollar as the global medium of exchange. No talk of world government as the only viable solution. There was some fear, but there was still faith that free enterprise would resolve the problems as it always had and did. And the Julie DeMoses of the land would not have to organize the frightened to resist the few who screwed it up for the majority. History tells us what works and what does not. That's why you have to take those classes.
I'm starving. Me too. Del Taco?
Virtually all historians today agree that government intervention in the Great Depression of the 30s prolonged it.
Yes.
7 to 8 years, and World War II was the reason it ended, not anything that FDR did. Two tried models for resolving the problem exist. One, the model of the 30s, the other of the 80s. The one invited shared poverty and required a war and massive death to end it. The other, a 25-year economic boom.
We want the 80s!
We demand that our elected officials return to prosperity economics or move aside so that those who do can get us out of the crises the ignorant have created and perpetuated. This is a bipartisan gathering, so I have a question for you. Can we set aside party long enough to do so? We deplore the opportunists who wish to use this moment to undermine the Constitution or reduce the liberty given us by our founders, or worse yet, to use this downturn to justify world monetary governance. We further resist any attempt to combine the United States, Canada, and Mexico into a North American Union modeled after the European Union. We wish to purge our government of the influence of the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, and Skull and Bones, and any other special interest group that works to undermine our independence from every other country on earth. We demand that our elected officials be informed of and loyal to the constitutional principles that made the United States the greatest country on earth.
USA! 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 USA USA!
to Congress, the President, the Supreme Court, and to all governors of all states and their legislative bodies, if you cannot follow this course, please step aside so that the rest of us can. Enough is enough. You will not destroy our liberty. I guess I'm supposed to say thank you. Sorry. It wasn't part of the script, and I didn't have a teleprompter.
Alrighty guys, we're not done quite yet. I just want to say that afterwards, if you guys want to come up, we are selling t-shirts. I believe they are $10. So if you want to come up, we have t-shirts. We have them in gray and white. So you can come up and have that to remember this. I just have a question for you guys. This was a question asked from a citizen. How many of you are protesting for the first time in your lives? And just a side note, for the t-shirts, we're going to head over towards that direction. So let's be a little orderly with it. I just want to say, I think we're all asking a question now. What do we do now? Because we are not stopping. This is just the beginning. We need to stay organized, and we need to organize through technology, through emails, through Facebook and websites from the booths that you've gotten information from today. We also need to vote on May 19th. So get yourselves registered and vote on May 19th. And when you get to the polls, how are we going to vote on the propositions? No! So this is not the end of our road together. We are now the watchmen of our elected officials. No longer will we be spoon-fed candidates with their own agenda. From now on, we will be the activists of our own freedom and the protectors of our rights. We will no longer sit by and let ourselves be taxed or let our freedoms be taken away. So I would like to ask Chad Vegas to come up and lead us in a closing prayer.